Officer Sarko, a traffic ticket?
Are you contesting it?
Huh?
Are you contesting this ticket?
No, I'm pleading guilty. I got caught red-handed. I was speeding.
Ordinarily, you just pay those down.
I'm sick, that's why I want to go first.
Pardon?
I got the flu, so I want to get out of here. Oh.
You can go right down to the clerk's office and pay that.
But I can't pay it now. What can I do it?
You don't have the money to pay it?
No, not right now. It's till Friday. They gotta pay it fully?
Did you talk to them down there?
No. She told me to come here.
Let's see if they've got it on here.
That's Shelley.
Say, Alfred Sarko is up here on a speeding ticket.
Okay, I can find it to you. You're doing the line real quick. Is it S-A-R-C-O?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the wish on
Okay, I see it. I'll get it to find you right now. Okay.
How much time?
Like a month.
$173.
Yeah. I just had a newborn, that's why. But
You know? Slow down.
I know, that's why I was going to the hospital.
Doesn't make any difference.
I know. I thought I was gonna get away with it, but he didn't give me a break. Yeah, you can understand.
All right, here you go. Will you pick up a copy down at the clerk's office?
Okay.
You have to hit.
We're done? Thank you.
Yeah, stop at the clerk's office for a copy of the order.
This is Shelley.
I filed that Sarko order without hitting print up here.
Oh, okay.
They give him a copy and stop it.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, who we got here?
Chase Meyer.
Who's it?
Chase Meyer.
Is he the bank robber?
Nope, probation, or curfew violation.
That was a joke.
I know. At least I was hoping it was a joke.
Bad things happen after curfew, you know. All right, what do you want to do here? Guilty or not guilty?
Well, he's guilty, he did it, I mean, he was out.
Okay. So I'm going to impose a $65 fine. $22.75 surcharge and $60 court costs. And how much time are you going to need to get that paid?
Probably the 10th of next month would work best.
Not too young to learn.
Or can I make it in 2 payments, Warren?
Yeah.
So, can I pay one on the 25th of this month and then the next one on the 10th of
You're
October?
going to pay up for him.
Yeah, but he's gonna work it off, let me tell ya.
So I'll give you until the 31st of October.
Okay, thank you very much.
October 31, comma 2014. All right, there you go.
13.
13, huh? Time to start listening to Mom.
Thank you.
Next. You bet.
Yep.
All right, what do you want to do on these? What are you doing these days?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Working.
Right.
Hancock Concrete in Lakeview.
Stuff you're drinking, probably more than that's good for you.
Yeah.
And probably that's not all the way it looks. What do you want to do on these? Guilty or not guilty?
I'd like to go not guilty.
Yeah, so you got possession of drug paraphernalia.
I was offered a plea deal, but I couldn't make it work before the time
Public
limit I had.
All right. I will, I'll show not guilty pleas. We'll set it for trial. How old are you now?
27.
Heading down a dangerous road here. Capture. There's another one. Get this paperwork. So on the paraphernalia and public intox charges, they each carry a maximum penalty, or a penalty of a fine of not less than 65 or greater than 625. You can also get up to 30 days in jail on each one of those charges. Computer is slow today. This one's even faster. Fine not to exceed $1,000 plus 35% surcharge and court costs. $180. Defendant apostrophe's bond shall remain in place pending further final disposition of this matter. Period. Ray, you want to come forward, please? So Beth, I have shown not guilty pleas on the possession of drug paraphernalia and public intox charges are both simple misdemeanors, as I just told you. Then you have the possession of marijuana charge. That charge is a serious misdemeanor. It carries up to 6 months in jail, fine not less than, or not to exceed $1,000 plus 35% surcharge and court costs. Additionally, you're going to lose your driver's license for a period of 180 days if you're convicted. You do have the right to remain silent. Any statement you make can and will be used against you. You do have the right to have an attorney present at all stages. If you're unable to afford counsel, then you need to get a form from the clerk's office, fill it out. I'm hoping you're not, I don't know what's going on in your life, but I always thought you were a pretty nice young lady. So hopefully you're going to get things straightened out here. I'm keeping your bond in place, but I am releasing you on your promise to appear at all further court proceedings. I'm imposing the following conditions on your release. You're not to use any alcohol or illegal drugs during the pendency of this matter. You must obey all laws of the state of Iowa and the United States. And I'm ordering you to complete a substance abuse evaluation immediately. I've got the numbers on here for new opportunities here in Sac, Compass Point, and Storm Lake. You have to get that done at your cost. You need to get a copy to the clerk within 30 days. And if you don't do that, we'll issue a warrant for your arrest. Set a preliminary hearing in this case for October 6th at 11 o'clock. We pretty well never have preliminary hearings in Sac County. Maybe you're going to get this worked out, I don't know. But if you get close to that October 6th date and you haven't heard anything to appear in the district court, then call the county attorney's number, which I've circled here. Find out what's going on. Okay? Any questions? All right. Dave. What is your name?
Jerome Kelly. Where should I say?
Let me pull your thing up here. Let's see what we got.
Here's my sheet of paper that helps. Disorderly conduct in business.
What do you want to do on that?
Sorry?
So that charge carries a maximum, a fine of not less than 65 or greater than 625 and up to 30 days in jail. It's usually the kind of charge that I give people some jail time on for.
Here's a bit of a story to that.
Well, for today's purposes, you know, I just need to know whether you want to plead guilty or not guilty. Plead not guilty, we're going to set it down for hearing at a later time. If you plead guilty, I guess at that point in time, I would maybe listen to your story and decide whether or not it was a fine or jail sentence.
In other words, if I plead guilty, you would listen to my
Yeah.
story. I'll plead guilty. I have no witnesses to that fact, really. At the time it happened, there was an incident 2 days earlier that precipitated it.
In that store or?
Well, it was actually outside the store in the parking lot.
All right, let's hear your story.
I became disabled 2 months ago after a series of really bad seizures. And so I was forced to retire. And there's an
What
elderly
did you do
lady.
before that?
I'm sorry?
What did you do before that?
I owned a company called Gymnasium Repair Services. I had a
Okay.
building down in the town square. Went to schools all over the state, all over the country. Youth Corps misplaced. So I have a very clean background to be able to do that kind of thing. And I'm an expert on bleachers, engineering, machinery, fabrication, that type of thing. And I would inspect bleachers under an Iowa administrative code under the Department of Public Safety. So my speech is a little bit impaired because of the seizures. So it's difficult to understand.
So you have, what's causing the seizures? You have epilepsy now or what?
Yes, my final diagnosis is partial epilepsy with impaired consciousness.
I see.
So I'm waiting to get on disability.
All right, so tell me what happened.
We went down there on a Sunday, and this lady was, no, maybe it was a Friday, I don't remember. This lady it was Friday. There was an older lady in town in her late 70s. She was familiar with the system because her son is also on disability, has been all his life. So she's familiar with how it all works. And so she took me to the various places I needed to go, like Social Security in Storm Lake, DHS down in Carroll, that kind of thing. We go to the last stop at Dollar General, and there was a truck parked next to us with the windows rolled up, and there was a dog inside. And he was at the window panting and barking. And she said that dog is having a heat stroke. Now, she was an animal control officer in San Diego for almost 30 years before she moved here. And she said, would you go in and find out who owns that red truck? So I stuck my head in the door, and the guy at the register waiting to be checked out. I said, do you know who owns the red truck? And he said, it's me. I said, well, this lady's concerned about your dog. And I was nice about it. He came out, and she said, your dog is having problems. And he said, no, it's like that all the time. He said, shut up, you old fart. You're just an old bitch. Go home. Pardon my language, but I'm telling you how it was. And I got out of the vehicle, and I said, was that necessary? I said, that was totally uncalled for. I said, she was just looking out for the welfare of your dog. She's not trying to bring to life. And the guy said, get out of my face, you old drunk. And he slammed his truck door into my face and into my upper body. And then drove off. So I thought, Kurt says, you should write his plate down now, call the police down here. I said, you know, it's just not worth the hassle. I just don't need it right now. I got too many things to do. I'll probably never see this guy again. Sure as heck, 2 days later, I pull into Dollar General to pick up something. He's walking out the door, and he turns around, he opens the door, and he goes, speaking of the devil. And he was talking to the manager in there. And this guy was trying to get physical with me. And before the seizures, I weighed 250 pounds, and I was in very good shape. And I dropped down to 165 pounds, and pretty weak. I used to walk the cane, I fall a lot. I should be using the cane now, and I'm too stubborn. But I asked him that day, when he said that, I said, do you want to do what you did to me on Sunday again? I said, do you want to try that again? And he said, I'm just going to call the police. I said, I think that's a good idea. I said, let's get the police down here. So Stacy Carlson came down. I thought it'd be John, since it was during the daytime, but John Thompson, but Stacy came down. And Stacy talked to the manager, and the manager said that I got too close to the man, and that with no teeth in, I have dentures. All my teeth, I grew up in an orphanage, got bad dental care, so all my teeth are pulled. But I don't have my dentures in. They don't fit right. Thank you, Dr. Chang. He said that obviously with no dentures in, I'd be spitting in the man's face when I'm talking to him. So Stacy charged me with disorderly conduct.
Okay.
Now I have a very clean record.
So I'll impose a minimum fine this time. Just don't come in here on something like this again.
Oh, you won't see me, Your Honor. I'm somewhat of a recluse, but I do have some friends around town. But I appreciate the minimum fine because I have less than $100. I don't remember my disability yet. I'll have less than $100 left in my rest of the month, and no food stamps yet. So it's been through charity of neighbors and community programs, I've been able to get a little bit of help. I just, it's a principle with me that I was taught to respect my elders. I taught my children that and live by that rule. And they,
Yeah, maybe you should talk to the guy's mother instead of him, you know. She might be the one that failed. How much time do you need to pay this?
the 65,
No, it's $147.75. $65 fine,
oh, plus-
35% surcharge, and $60 court costs, so it's $147.75.
I put up $300 cash as bail.
Okay. So I'll take it out of your bond and give you the rest.
Yes, if you would, please. I understand you're only magistrate now
That's right.
due to cutbacks. So did, I think his name was Judge Heidenreich?
Right.
Did he retire or
He
move to a
did,
different?
retired as magistrate.
Did he move to a different judicial district or?
He's got plenty to do in his private practice.
Oh, okay. So, are you a private practice attorney also now?
I am.
So, do most magistrates do that then?
You know, there are some full-time magistrates, but almost none in the rural areas.
Okay. It's all new to me, even though I moved up here 10 years ago. I lived in Des Moines for 33 years. And volunteer, that's why I have a clean background. I was a search and rescue pilot attached to the Air Guard down there. I had the rank of lieutenant colonel. And I spent a lot of time, volunteering time, to do flights for customs.
You should get a
DEA.
pension from the service then?
No, because it's on no combat. Also, during the Reagan years, VA benefits were changed. My brother was 2 years in the Army, 6 in the Marines, saw no combat. Therefore, gets no VA benefits. But he's on disability, and if he did get VA benefits, they would go to Medicare anyway. So no, I get no. The one thing I got was if my plane became a smoking hole in the ground, there was a $50,000 life insurance payout to my family. That was all. But I did it for the flying. You know, I really enjoyed flying. I could fly just about anything, including helicopters. So that's the biggest thrill of my life was the chance to fly an F-16. That was.
I don't know one airplane from another, you know, I'm just not into that at all.
It can be scary, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be. There you go. Is that the next person?
I don't think there's, I think you're getting again. I mean, when I was the last person out there.
Nobody else?
And I was first up, I'll let you know.
And I've got some more stuff later on, so anyway.
Thank you.
You bet.
Do I just take this down to?
You know, I filed it electronically, so they will release your bond tomorrow. They'll issue a check to you tomorrow.
Oh, is it
You
mailed
can't
to
do it
my
the same
house
day.
then? They just mail it to my address then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming you get your correct address. You can check it.
Um,
Does it show on there? Should show up at the top. No, maybe it doesn't on there.
No.
It shows on the citation. Anyway, check it the clerk's office, make sure they got your right address. Your mailing
Okay, and
address.
then the clerk's office is down
The
on
long
the first
counter
floor?
downstairs in the new part of the courthouse.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
The defendant was to report to the jail for service of a sentence on September 12, 2014. Period. He did not do so, appears to be in contempt of court. Period. The court therefore orders him to appear on October 20, 2014 at 10 o'clock a.m. to show cause why he should not be found in contempt of court for failure to report and serve the sentence. Period. A copy of this order shall be personally served on the defendant. Period.
This is Shelley.
See on this Sac City versus Sherry Danielle Block. Chuck filed an appearance. He filed an appearance and thing saying that apparently it must have gone to judgment. And she said,
That's the one, I think I remember Brenda talking about that, where she said she didn't get it or something.
right.
Hang on, here.
So I need the whole docket thing put on here because all I've got is Chuck's appearance.
Okay, so you want me to just assign you a tab so you can...
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
Right. According to the docket, this matter was set for the defendant '(S) initial appearance on this date at 8:30 a.m. Period. However, it does not appear that the defendant has been served. Period. The defendant '(S) first appearance is continued to October 6, 2014 at 8:30 a.m. Period. Personal service of this order shall be made. Period. In the event that service has not been continued by that date, the matter will be dismissed. The defendant has been convicted of the charge of permitting an unauthorized person to drive her vehicle. Period. The citation in this matter was not personally served on the defendant, but rather was mailed to her. by ordinary United States mail. Period. Attorney Charles Schulte has filed an appearance, an application to set aside the conviction in this matter. Period. The court sets that application for hearing on September 22, 2014 at 11 o'clock a.m. Period. At that time, the city shall appear to provide evidence regarding whether the citation was returned following mailing. Period. Or whether it appears that the mailing was completed and the defendant simply ignored the citation and allowed it to go to default. Period. Has anybody appeared on behalf of Russell's on this case, this Class D felony child endangerment case?
I don't know. I will have to look it up and call you back. No, I haven't here.
The defendant was summoned to appear on this date, on this charge, period. However, because he has other matters that he did appear for on September 8, 2014, the court is willing to give him the benefit of confusion as to his obligation on this date with respect to this charge. Period. The court previously appointed Robert Peterson, representing him on other pending matters, and does appoint him with respect to this matter. Period. The date for this defendant's appearance is continued to September 22, 2014 at 8:30 a.m. Period. The defendant must either appear personally at that time or, alternatively, shall appear by counsel. Period. If neither of those occur, then on September 22, 2014, a warrant shall issue for the defendant apostrophe S arrest on this charge. this charge, period.
This is Brenda.
So I just did an order on that felony charge for Matt Wessels.
Okay.
Make sure that Robert Peterson gets a copy of that, will you?
Okay, I'll let Shelley know.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
This is the matter of the state of Iowa versus Jacob Lawler. It's SMCR 012627. The record should reflect that the defendant has entered a not guilty plea to the charge of interference with official acts. At the time of the defendant's initial appearance, he entered a guilty plea to the accompanying charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. At that time, he was attempting to get a hold of his father because the court indicated to him that if he entered a guilty plea to the interference charge, the court would impose a 10-day jail sentence. The not guilty plea was duly noted. The matter was set for trial on this date, September 15th, 2014, at 11:30 a.m. The state of Iowa is represented by Sac County Attorney Ben Smith. The charging officer is present in person. It is now approximately 11:45 a.m. The defendant does not appear or anyone on his behalf. So the state may call their first witness.
State calls Officer Brian Menser.
Swear the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth under penalty of perjury.
I do.
Stand.
Officer Menser, you are a peace officer with the Sac City Police Department.
That is correct.
How long have you been doing that?
15 years, September of 2000.
And on or around August 15 of this year, you had occasion to come across defendant Jacob Donald Wall on duty in your capacity as a peace officer.
That is correct.
If you could explain to the court the nature of your involvement from beginning to end, starting, I suppose, with a phone call or a call for service or a call for help or whatever.
Okay. On that date, at approximately 18:23 hours, I was on patrol for the city of Sac City.
What is the date again?
August 15, I believe. Is that right?
August 15, 2014.
Sorry about that, I just didn't get it.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And stopped a vehicle for non-display of registration plates.
Mm-hmm.
The defendant, Mr. Lawler, was a front seat passenger in that vehicle. And then, I guess if you want to go through.
I mean, don't go. I mean, I guess you cited Mr. Lawler for interference with official acts, and that
Correct.
That crime necessarily contains a number of different elements. I guess if you could start with the first element of that crime,
Okay.
subsequent to this stop.
Okay. While dealing with the driver and Mr. Lawler, and then there was a backseat passenger, Mr. Lawler was very agitated and nervous. He was shaking. I suspected that there was something not right. After I ran everybody through NCIC, back up to the vehicle and asked the driver to come back with me. She did. I asked her if there was anything illegal in the vehicle, and she's told me not that I know of. I said, you know, is there or is there not? She just said not that I know of. So I asked her to stay where she was at. I went back up to the vehicle and talked to the 2 male occupants, Mr. Lawler and another male, and asked them if there was anything illegal in the vehicle or on their person. They told me no, there was not. I asked them if they would step out, and asked to search their person. Both consented. Found drug paraphernalia on the second passenger in the vehicle, not Mr. Lawler. And Mr. Lawler had nothing on his person, and I asked if there was anything in the vehicle, and the second passenger, I guess I probably should name him Tyler, or Dion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tyler Dungan was the other backseat passenger that had paraphernalia on him, and he also indicated to me when I asked if there was anything else in the vehicle, he said to me,
Tyler Duncan we're talking about.
that is correct. When I asked him if there wasn't, he responded positively. At that point in time, Mr. Lawler became upset with Dungan because he indicated there was, and I asked whose it was, and Lawler indicated that it was his, and that is why he became upset with Dungan. Dungan told me and Lawler that he's not stupid, he's going to find it anyway. So that is why Dungan gave it up. At this time,
Apparently they didn't know you very well, right? Sorry.
that's all right. And at that time,
It was uncalled for.
no, I don't
Kind
care.
of funny.
I like it. We can't have humor. What are we doing here, right?
Judge, you got the 900 series code section? Oh, you got it open right here, I'm guessing. Okay, thanks. Go ahead, continue.
All right. At that time, that's when Lawler became upset. And he kept asking me, am I under arrest? Am I going to jail? Repeatedly. And he became more agitated, more nervous. He was kind of running in circles. He was running his hands through his hair. And I said, you know, you're going to be placed in handcuffs for your protection and mine. I said, you're making me nervous. I don't know what your problem is. So went and placed handcuffs on him, and he swung his body into me to get away and was jerking his arms. I was able to get the handcuffs on him, and I said, now I'm going to place you in my vehicle until assistance arrives. And he threw his body into me to get me away from him when I was walking into my vehicle. At that point in time, I just took him to the ground and sat on him until Deputy Daniel Brewster arrived.
Did he say anything to you during the course of your trying to effect the arrest? Not the arrest, excuse me, but to restrain him?
The only thing that I recall that he kept saying repeatedly was he was telling Tyler Dungan in the driver of the vehicle, call my dad, call my dad.
Okay. And you were wearing your uniform and you effected the stop at a car in your patrol car?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you identified yourself to them as a peace officer?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Initially on contact with the vehicle.
Okay, and you, again, where did this happen? Within the city limits of Sac City?
Yes,
Okay.
in the, basically right at the intersection of South 16th and Gishwiller Streets.
Okay, and you're detaining Mr. Lawler, that was within the course of your performance as a peace officer?
Yes, it was.
And I think that you'd indicated that was done for the purposes of maintaining security at the scene or for officer safety, for your own safety, until such time?
For my safety, Lawler's safety, and actually Tyler Dungan, because those two kind of got in a verbal argument because of what Dungan told me. Lawler was upset with him about that.
I got you. I don't have any further questions, Judge.
And that's all I need. Thank you, and I'm sorry about that.
No.
We have to have humor, right? Anything else for me?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Having heard the evidence presented, the court finds that the officer apostrophe S decision to place handcuffs on the defendant was well within his discretion in order to secure the scene of his investigation and to prevent any altercation between the defendant and Tyler Dungan. The court further finds that the defendant interfered with the officer apostrophe S attempt to secure the scene, and therefore is guilty of the crime of interference with official acts. Period. Because the defendant was not present, the court defers sentencing in this case until September 29, 2014 at 11 o'clock a.m. Period. The defendant shall be present at that time. Period.